totally thought somebody took that. All right, good morning and welcome to today's College Football Playoff National Championship Head Coaches News Conference. Before we begin, there are a few reminders as usual. Please silence all electronic devices. We have our friends here from ASAP Sports that will be providing the transcript. Following the coach's opening remarks, we will get through as many questions as we can. We do have microphone holders located in a number of different sections. Please get their attention if you'd like to ask a question. And before you ask your question, it would be very helpful to give us your name and affiliation. It is now my privilege to introduce Ohio State head coach Ryan Day and Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman. Coach Day, we'll start with an opening remark from you.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here. Our team is really, really excited about this opportunity and playing in the national championship. Against a great opponent. Both teams, have had a great journey to get here. Two historic programs. We know that it's going to be an electric atmosphere at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Monday night, and our team is really focused on their preparation right now and playing our best game.
Coach Freeman.
Yeah, I want to first thank the CFP staff and all the work they put in to put on this event. The welcome was amazing. The city of Atlanta, we're grateful to be here. As Coach Day said, it's been a long journey. It's been a fun one, and we got a great group of players, but staff that have put everything into this opportunity that we have right in front of us. So we're looking forward to this one last guaranteed opportunity that we have versus a terrific opponent in Coach Day and the Ohio State Buckeyes, and we look forward to the opportunity coming here on Monday.
We'll move into the Q&A portion. We'll start over here on the far left. Far left.
Yeah, this is for both coaches. Brooks Austin with On SI. You both have added the occasional player out of the portal, and they've been very impactful football players. But I don't think you would be here without the retention strategies that you're using to keep good players on your football team. So what are you guys doing to keep good guys around without immediate playing time nowadays?
Coach Day, let's start with you.
Yeah, our philosophy when it comes to that is that, we want to recruit high school players, develop them, and then retain them, like you said. And I think a lot of people, there was a lot of conversation early in the season about our roster. But when you look at our team, the majority of our team are guys that have been here for a long time, fourth and fifth year seniors, and played a lot of football. We always want to use the transfer portal as an opportunity to fill holes that may come up now with the way things that are designed within college football. So, we do that, but we also try to make sure that we're using, a lot of great judgment on who we bring into our program. So when you look at guys like Will Howard and Caleb Downs, Seth McLaughlin and Quinshon Junkins and the guys that we brought in, I think we only ended up with 7, transfer guys this year, but they all fit and they made an impact on our team. And you don't just walk into Ohio State or Notre Dame or one of these programs and just think you're just going to walk in and get on the field. And so they had to earn the respect of their teammates during the offseason, during the spring, and then during the season as time went on. And then as it goes, you start to build that team. But this playoff system has allowed us to grow and build as a team. So when you get to this point right now, you don't feel like they're transfers at all, especially when they get here in January. But ultimately, we want to make sure we continue our culture, and by doing that, you have to recruit high school players and then develop them and retain them.
Coach Freeman.
Yeah, very similar philosophy, and we're going to major in high school recruiting. And the foundation of our football program will be from high school recruiting, and we'll minor in the transfer portal and for specific needs that we need for our roster. It's not an easy answer to say how you keep young people a part of your program. But if you can get them to feel like they have value, and you can get them to understand that whatever role they have determined for them in that week or this season is going to be a part of us reaching our full potential, then I think you can, more so than not, get them to stay. I think young people want to be valued, and that's important. And so I think you also got to show them stories of examples of guys that have stayed the course and have turned into great football players, right? And that you look at a guy like Xavier Watts that came in and redshirted as a wideout his freshman year and moved to DB his second year and played very little. And then his third year, his first year starting was just okay. And then his fourth year, he wins the Bronco Nagurski Award. And so you have to use that example just as much as the example of seeing a Leonard Moore, a true freshman that ends up starting a corner. And so everybody's journey is different. And I think if you can convince them to understand that, hey, your journey is your journey. Don't compare your journey to his journey. That's hopefully a way to get young people to stay.
We're going to stay on the far left side, first row.
Joe Nugent, NBC4 Columbus. Question for Ryan. So many Buckeyes from the state of Georgia. How important has this area been to building the program?
Well, Georgia has great football, and we want to be able to first build our foundation from the state of Ohio. That's very, very important to us. But we also want to recruit nationally, and Georgia has really, over the last decade or so, continued to build and grow and develop young players. And it's great to see our guys come back to the Atlanta area. Most of our guys who were on the roster from Georgia are from the Atlanta area. And, when they saw that the national championship game was in Atlanta from the jump, they were excited about that opportunity if it arose and we reached this game. So they're excited. A lot of chatter in the locker room about going back to Atlanta, and they'll have a lot of friends and family here.
Come back over here. We've got second row, about halfway through.
Kirk Bowles from the Houston Chronicle. For both coaches, Ryan, y'all start a home and home with Texas next year. And Marcus, you have a return match with A&M. Are we in danger of seeing fewer marquee games like this because of the playoff? And do you think the college football playoff hit a home run, or is it more like a triple?
Marcus, we'll start with you, Coach.
I have no clue who we play next year. I'm not thinking about that. And I really don't have a strong opinion right now on the playoff structure. I was asked that previously. And that's going to be something maybe after the season I can spend more time really thinking about my opinion of the pros and cons. Right now, you just try to figure out a way to get your team prepared for this opportunity you got right in front of you. And so that's what the focus is on, is this opportunity. And we'll deal with next year and opinions on the playoff structure, I think, once this thing's over.
Coach Day.
Yeah, agreed. I think there's a lot of things we're learning about this structure, what comes with it, and those are all great conversations for after the season. I do think that, playing some of those games during the regular season, though, allows you an opportunity to learn. And with this structure, your team can grow and build. Learn from those types of games, whether they're on the road or at home, wins, losses. And then you build as the season goes on to help you maybe become more prepared for the playoffs, which is maybe a little bit different than it has been in the past.
We're going to come over here on the aisle to the left, second seat in.
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. For both coaches, just what you can say about, we live in a kind of me society right now. The we in your team, obviously, to get to where you are right now with the NIL, with the transfer portal, and everything going on, just what you can say about the culture of both of your programs and how you've created a we in this me society.
Coach Day.
Yeah, first off, I would say that, I think as coaches, we get too much of the attention a lot of times. This journey for us has been about our players, our staff, our coaches. They're the ones who are on the field. They're the ones playing. And they're the ones, there's a bunch of guys that decided to forego an opportunity to go to the NFL or whatever it was, other schools, to come back, to have this opportunity to chase this goal. And right now the focus is on finishing, the mission of winning the championship. But, anybody who's around our players and speaks to our players or interviews our players is quick to recognize, what a special group it is, how mature they are. I believe that being at Ohio State, you have to up your game across the board. And every day that you're there, every year that you're there, you just grow up faster, you learn faster, you have to hold yourself to a higher standard. The expectations are extremely high, and that's the way it is, and you embrace it. But this group has been through quite a bit of ups and downs and twists and turns along the way, and each individual player has their own story about where they're at right now, just like Coach Freeman was talking about. Each guy has their own journey, but then also as a group, they've had their own journey. Each class has had their own journey. The senior classes got a great story to tell. But like I've said before, those stories are not told unless you win it. And so that's our focus right now, is winning the game.
Coach Freeman?
Yeah, I think very similar to the answer I said earlier. It's, the ability to make sure everybody feels value is so important, right? To get people to commit to something bigger than themselves, they have to feel like their determined role is important. And then they have to make a choice that no matter what, us achieving team glory is more important than what I want as an individual. I think it's a choice that every coach, every player, every person in our football program has to continuously make. But I think if they can see the value they have in us achieving our ultimate goal of team glory, and then they're more than willing to continue to give everything they have to the program. And so I think it's an everyday message, it's an everyday constant reminder, and it's an everyday choice that we all have to make.
We're going to come to the other side, halfway through the middle here.
Joey Kaufman from the Columbus Dispatch. A question for Ryan. When you talk about the fourth and fifth year guys on your roster, that experience they've had, where do you think that's benefited you the most throughout the year to get here?
Yeah, I think just maturity, physical maturity to be able to withstand, the length of the season, mental maturity to be able to, wipe the slate clean on a week-to-week basis and start a new game plan, and then just the emotional maturity of handling the ups and downs, and certainly we know we've had a few of those this year, and being able to steady the boat and get back to work and learn from those and rally the troops, and I think it's a great example for our young players.
We're going to move over here to our far right on the aisle.
Conal Diggin from Pro Football Ireland. I just wanted to ask the two of you, you have a lot of international players on this team, whether it be from Germany or from Australia. How important do you think is an expanded playoff, but also college football growing to expanding the game of American football?
Coach Freeman?
Yeah, I think back to last year when we opened up the season in Dublin, Ireland. What an opportunity of a lifetime. And it was a great experience. And for me, even being the head coach, first time I was out of this country. And to be able to take our program to Dublin, Ireland, and to really showcase the game of football, right, and expand the game of football. And we've had great players from Germany, as you said. Obviously, our punter now is from Australia. I think the game of football continuously grows, and that's obviously started with the NFL, and now you see it's trickling down to college. And so the enhancement of the game, the growth of the game of football is something that we all support. And I think these are just small steps to seeing this sport in this game, no matter what level you're playing at, continue to grow.
Coach Day?
Yeah, no, it's exciting to see it reach the global stage, and there's great athletes across the globe, and these guys are hungry for an opportunity, and the same thing. We've had guys from Germany, different parts of the world, Australia, and they just maybe didn't grow up in a football environment. So once given the opportunity, you can just see how hungry they are to go play the game, and so as it becomes on a national stage, it just provides for a better game.
We're going to stay over here on our right side.
Joey Lamar from WSAV in Savannah. This is for both coaches. This is game 16 for both of you. No college football program has ever played 16 games in a season. When you heard about the expanded playoff, did you do anything differently to try to make sure that you guys were healthy to be healthy at this point in the season because of the extension of the season?
Start with you, Coach Day.
Yes. I think you have to. When you look at the number of games that you could possibly play, you have to plan for that and then work your way back. That's sort of how we did that. We started at the end of the season and then worked our way back. And so there was a lot of things that we put in place to try to help with that. You know, I don't think it's a secret anymore, but one of the things in particular was on offense, we didn't play as fast to cut down on the number of overall snaps, to make sure that our depth was where it needed to be, the way we practiced, you know, the sport science behind it all. There was a lot of things that, you know, we took into consideration knowing that this would be the run that we would look to go on. You know, we'll see. It's all been up to this point, and it was all working towards this moment right here on Monday night.
Coach Freeman?
Yeah, I think before the season, you spent some time really coming up with a great plan for after week 12. For us, we knew there was no chance of us having a first-round bye, so we also knew that we weren't going to play in a conference championship, so we had to maximize those 2 weeks, week 13 and really the week before the first round of the playoffs. And so that was something we spent some time doing. You know, and then as you got to that moment, it was about preparation. You had to prepare for the opportunity to play 4 games. It wasn't like a bowl game where, you know, everything was going to go into one game and this was the last game. You had to have a big picture approach to the next 4 opportunities, even though you didn't know if they were guaranteed or not. And so I think each week you kind of get with your sports performance team and have some discussions and make a plan for what you feel your team needs physically and mentally for that week. And it's worked pretty well for us, and we got one more opportunity to see how well we prepared.
We're going to come to our left now, right in the front row.
Tyler Horka, Blue and Gold Illustrated. Coach Freeman, obviously so much made of your crossover, having played at Ohio State, and James Laurinaitis, that angle is there as well. But Al Washington is also a guy that has that crossover. I'm curious what he's meant to your program, and Coach Day, if you could also comment on his time at your program as well.
Yeah, you know, the first part of your question about, you know, relationships and my tie at Ohio State, yeah, that's, you know, friendships are friendships. That doesn't matter where you're coaching or who you're coaching with. Like, friendships are friendships. And you know, James isn't the only guy that's in the Ohio State program that I have a friendship or relationship with. And everybody knows where I went to college. But as I've continuously said to our program and everybody around our program, is that this opportunity is about this opportunity. This isn't about where I went to school. This isn't about the last 2 times we played Ohio State. This opportunity is about this opportunity. And we got to make sure we focus on that, because this opponent is this current opponent. It's not the last 2 that we faced. And it's going to be a great challenge. As far as Al Washington, he's been a tremendous asset to our staff. We had the fortune to work together at Cincinnati for a year before he left. And I knew him before that. And so I know the type of man he is, but also the type of coach he is. And he is a developer of young people. He's done a really good job of recruiting and developing the defensive line. And we're grateful to have him part of our staff.
Coach Day?
Yeah, first off, everybody at Ohio State, you know, respects Marcus and the fact that, you know, he went to Ohio State and had a great career there, and certainly have a lot of respect for, you know, what he's done in his coaching career and what he's doing. He's a tremendous coach and does an unbelievable job. And, you know, I know James and his friendship goes back a long way, and like Marcus said, it really has nothing to do with this game, but I know that they're very close. In terms of from Al Washington, Al played at Boston College when I was a GA. And my first opportunity to be an offensive coordinator at Boston College, he was the running backs coach. We met at a Dunkin' Donuts, and Al never knew anything about coaching running backs. And I sort of talked him into becoming the running backs coach. And he said, I don't know anything about coaching running backs. I said, well, we're going to sit down and figure it out. Here, the first thing you got to do is take care of the football and run vertical. He said, all right, I can figure that out. Then we went into pass protection. And then that year, you know, Andre Williams, his running back, became the Doak Walker Award winner that year at Boston College in 1 year. And it just went to show you that it didn't really have anything to do with the position. It was his ability to motivate players, you know, his passion for recruiting, his energy. His wife, Melissa, is great, and I have nothing but unbelievable respect for Al Washington.
We're going to go back over here in the middle to our right.
Doug Lesmerises from Kings of the North. For both coaches, these are 2 traditional historic programs from similar parts of the country. Do you feel like there are any similarities between Ohio State and Notre Dame and how you guys go about your business and the success that these programs have had?
Start with you, Coach Day.
Well, similar to what Marcus said, I really don't think that any of those things really have anything to do with what's going to go on Monday night. That first off being said, I mean, this is an excellent team that has just found a way to win week in and week out. They, I think have over 140 points off of turnovers. They play great in all three phases. You talk about offense, defense, and special teams. I mean, these guys are really good on special teams. They keep you on your heels all the time. I mean, they fake punts, they fake field goals, they find different creative ways to get guys in the game. They've done onside kicks, they've done reverses on kickoff return. I mean, they're very, very good in all three phases. So it's a big challenge, and really the focus is about executing and making sure that we prepare for this game, not the fact that it's Ohio State versus Notre Dame. Nothing in the past matters, and nothing moving forward matters. I think, though, to answer your question, Doug, the fact that these are both Midwest programs, large fan base, alumni base, have an opportunity to recruit nationally. I think there's a lot in common there, and certainly everybody on our program has a lot of respect for Notre Dame.
Coach Freeman.
Yeah, when I think about the similarities, more than anything, I think the expectations that both programs have for each other, right, and for themselves. I'm sorry. Every season you go into the season wanting to be national champions, and obviously Ohio State has achieved that goal in more recent years than we have, but those are the expectations to be at the mountaintop, and I think there's not a tremendous amount of programs that can truly say that every year, and I think that's part of the reason why we're both at these places. We want to be a part of a program that every year has expectations of being the best, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to try to achieve that result. And the other thing, I hope that we continuously do it the right way, right? And that I know Coach Day and a lot of people on his staff that have integrity and do things the right way, and it's about building young people and helping them grow, helping them be better individuals because of the time they've spent with us. And I think that's important, is that you can aspire to win national championships every year, but you can also make sure that the young people you're leading are better because of the time they spent with you. And I think that's a reflection of both football programs.
We're going to move over here to our left-hand side, second row.
Hey, good morning. I've got a question for each of you. I'm Bill Roden with ESPN's Landscape. I was curious, how much time would you say your players spend each week on paper games? I don't want to call it tape or film, but how much time would you say your players spend watching game tape? And is it as important or less important than it's ever been?
Start with Coach Freeman.
I don't know the exact hours, but there's a tremendous amount of time spent watching film. That could be with coaches and without coaches. That could be in the football facility or at home. And yes, it's more important than ever to watch film. And I'm a firm believer in that, in the preparation. There's only so much you can do physically. But mentally, I think there's always a nugget you can grab as you prepare and watch film.
Coach Day.
Agreed. Each guy is different. I say it all the time. Each unit is different. What is your routine? How many hours do you need to watch of film by yourself? 5, 10, 20, 30, 50? But the more film you watch, eventually you find something. You find a way to get a first down. You find a way to get a stop. You find a little tip that may just help you get that 1 inch. You think about, some of these games, it can come down to one play, right? And so that's what it is. And having the discipline late in the season to be able to watch, all right, let's put the film on, watch one more hour of film here. And that's, for young players to understand how important that is and how that can help you win the game.
We're going to move back over here to the right-hand side aisle.
Charlie Clifford, NBC Cincinnati. It's a speech that every coach dreams of. For both of you, if you could describe the preparation and emotion that will go into your pregame address tomorrow night.
Coach Day.
Well, I think for us, the playoff has been a natural kind of ramp up to this game and has allowed us an opportunity to get into a routine. And I think when you start to make it bigger or change what you've done over the last few weeks, I don't think that's good. So what we're going to do is the same thing we've done for the last 3 weeks. have the same routine and focus on our execution. And there'll be plenty of motion to run around on Monday night. And so, I think that there's a back and forth of recognizing what's at stake, but also just making sure we recognize the fact that it's about our execution on the field. And certainly we know what a great opponent we have and how good they are. And so that's it. That's what we have to focus on. But being in the locker room is a special moment. It is. But you all of a sudden can't just like ramp a guy up in the last second to get a guy to go play really, really hard. It's a build-up. It usually starts at least 48 hours out to get your body, your mind, your soul ready to go play in a game like this. Coach Freeman.
Yeah, it's probably the last thing on our minds. That what we're going to say to them pregame is going to help them win the game. So much goes into preparation. It goes into days of preparation, and sometimes maybe outsiders can think that, it's a pregame speech that's going to help your team win. The reality is very similar to what Coach Day said. What you've done to get you here is what you got to go out there and do. And for us to come out and before the game and say something that, hey, you got to do something different tonight, that didn't help you get to this point is crazy. And so it would probably something along those lines is you got to do what we've done. You got to do it better. We're facing a great opponent. You're in a national championship game. You might say it with a little passion. You get ready to play for the national championship. The natural emotions will come out in that moment. But our guys got to continuously do what they've done to get them to this moment.
Move back over here to our left-hand side in the middle.
Jeff Gilbert, Press Pros Magazine. Ryan, you've talked this year a lot about leaving no doubt. That mentality that you're trying to get into your team to buy into or have bought into, what's behind that thought, and how do you feel for you? Why are you talking that way? And then how do you feel like that's helped your team?
Yeah, it's something we talked about, all year, and in the winter. There's a lot of messaging that happens, and when you play this long of a season, there's different messages that you can kind of come in and out of during the season, but we tried to keep them as consistent as possible. And the idea of leave no doubt is don't leave it to one play, don't leave it to one call, don't leave it to the photo finish, don't leave it to the judges to call at the end of of a boxing match, and that's it. Not that that's easy, but that's the reason behind it.
All right, we're going to come over here on our right-hand side.
Ashley Adamson, Big Ten Network. Riley Leonard made the point that the last two teams standing are also the two teams that have been the most outspoken in their faith this season, and I just wonder if each of you could offer some perspective on what you've seen from a cultural standpoint and how that's had an impact on both of your seasons.
Start with you, Coach Freeman.
Yeah, I think, when you're at Notre Dame, faith is something that's openly talked about, obviously being at a private Catholic university. And amongst our football program, it's promoted. And I'm not saying you have to be Catholic. We're saying we want our young people to grow in their faith. And when you have a leader like Riley Leonard that is very outspoken about his faith and is very intentional about putting together Bible studies and helping his peers grow in their faith, I think it's big. It's huge. It promotes a culture where you're comfortable as an individual seeking out ways to grow in your faith. And so I'm a believer, and I have a strong faith, and that's my personal opinion and beliefs. But I think we have a team of leaders that do a really great job of promoting and helping young people grow in their faith.
Coach Day.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to be at Boston College for 9 years and experience, what that was like, and what an amazing experience going through the Jesuit education and seeing what that's like on a daily basis. All three of my children were baptized there. But then going to Ohio State and being at a state university, it's a different experience. But it's been amazing to watch this team grow spiritually. And I just think those three pillars of your body, your mind, and then your soul and spirit. And, we have Bible studies and reflections that, we have that we'll have folks come in and speak at, and we have been, for a long time. But then also, seeing our players lead them, in those moments. But then there's also times where I'll walk around the corner and I'll just see a bunch of guys in a room together that, we didn't even know about, that they're having a Bible study talking. And the impact they've made on our community, I think even nationally, is significant here. And I'm proud of where those guys have gone in their journey. And I think it's, again, a great example for some of our young players.
Come right down here on our left.
Pete Byrne, WSBT, for Marcus Freeman. Coach, we've heard you talk about guaranteed opportunities throughout the year, and then as you switched to the playoffs, it was 60 minutes to earn another 60 minutes. And then this week, finally, you said, we've reached our final opportunity. So I'm curious to you, what does it mean to have maximized your opportunities this season? And then furthermore, what would it mean for you to watch your guys deliver a national championship for Notre Dame after all these years?
Yeah, when I think about this journey in this season, there's a lot of gratitude I have to be on this journey with not just the players, but with all the coaches and the staff, the men and women that are involved in our program, and the efforts they put into us being in this position. When I think about this last guaranteed one, we started the season talking about reaching our full potential, and we got one guaranteed opportunity to do that. And let's continuously put all the work we can in these last 48 hours or however many hours we have left to prepare for this moment, and then go play. Go play. You got a chance to play in a national championship game. And enjoy the opportunity. It's going to be a difficult one. We know that. But listen, go out there and enjoy it. And don't let the things outside of those white lines affect the way you play. Right? And that's probably what's most important. And but I'm grateful for this opportunity and looking forward to it tomorrow.
Coaches, we're going to move into the photo opportunity. If you guys could stand on either side of the trophy, I would ask our friends in the front to please stay down. We are going to let our cameras in the back have the first opportunity, and then we will move to you, I promise. So, coaches, if you could look at the back where all of our ENGs are, that would be great. Everybody good in the back? All right, let's move down here to the front to our handheld cameras. As we finish that up, I would respectfully ask for everybody to stay seated as we allow our coaches to head out for their next opportunity. And once they leave the room, everybody will have a great day. All right, thank you. You're going to go that way. Again, give us a minute. Thank you both. Thank you very much. All right, now.